How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I've actually moved houses, so this is a bit of a life update / Q&A for hitting 1,000 subscribers on the channel. 1,000 subscribers was something I was always aiming towards, but I didn't think it would happen, but it did. Now we're actually at around 1,200, close to 1,300 subscribers. So this is more than I would have ever imagined. So thank you so much for joining me in these videos and subscribing to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, just consider subscribing. It does give me a lot of motivation to keep posting. So yeah, welcome to my new room. So I've now moved really close to the hospital where I'll be placed for the next 2 years. I'll do a proper house tour in a future video, but this video specifically will be answering your questions which you've either DM'd me on Messenger or replied to my story on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, consider doing so. It's @ZoomKabir. I post a lot of medical school updates or video updates on there, so it'll be good to see you there. Okay, so the first question is, you sure you want us to ask you anything? Now this scares me a lot, so I was pretty skeptical posting the story asking you guys to ask anything. And yeah, there has been some pretty weird questions, so we'll see. I'll pick and choose a few and then we'll go with it. The first one is, what if I don't get into med school? All in capitals with exclamation marks. So there is a bit of sarcasm there, but there's a lot of reality there as well. So, here's my serious answer. If you don't get into med school, that's fine. You can always apply the year after. And there are a lot of allied health careers as well, which you can start working at, get a lot of clinical experience, then move laterally into medicine later. I actually know a lot of people like that in my cohort who've done allied health professions, worked as a podiatrist or an ultrasonographer for many years before transitioning into medicine later on. So medicine is not a rat race, so don't worry if you don't get in, straight up. So what was your study routine during your bachelor's degree and preparing for the GAMSAT? That's a really good question. I think my study routine is pretty different to what the majority of people in my cohort were doing. I was not big on taking notes. Even now, I take barely any notes. My study essentially encompassed attending the lectures and doing a lot of questions for my bachelor's. When it comes to the GAMSAT, it's a little bit more different. The GAMSAT is a pretty hard test. I found myself to be thriving in some question types and other question types really struggling. So it was a little bit more reflection where I would spend more time on the questions I was getting wrong, the question types. For me, GAMSAT study was definitely harder than just my biomed undergrad, because biomed was just memorizing, whereas GAMSAT was actual logical reasoning. So I think those are two different things, but yeah, my study routine is roughly the same now. I barely take any notes. I attend the lectures, then go straight into questions. How do you not compare yourself to people who are also applying to medicine? This is a really good question. I found myself there at the end of my undergrad when I saw a lot of my friends get into medical school, and I obviously had to take an honors year before getting in. In that time, you have that little bit of anxiety, like, yeah, the world is pushing on while you feel like you're still being left behind. I think not like comparing yourself to others is a bit of a natural response that we have, and overcoming that, I'm not even sure if that's possible. I think what the most we can do is try to minimize it. I think you need to focus on your journey, understand, look at others who followed a journey like you. For example, for me, before I came into my medicine cohort, I didn't even know that many people are applying to medicine much later in their life than me. I thought, everyone gets into med really early, like 17, 18, maybe latest like 21, and they get into med and get it done. Later on, I found out that for a lot of medical schools in Australia, the average age to enter medical school is actually 25. So I didn't know that I was actually quite ahead of the curve, if you may. But yeah, it's something that I've definitely struggled with, and it's something that I still struggle with. It's hard to not compare yourself with others who are at your stage in life and maybe a bit ahead of societal standards of success. I think you need to really become a little bit philosophical and think, what really is these arbitrary milestones of success that society have put in front of you. Instead, set yourself your own goals, and then give yourself props for achieving those goals and make those realistic. I think, I don't know, I'm sounding like I've got it all sorted. I don't. I struggle with that as well. Yeah, are you with Bangladesh or Indian? Spot on, I'm from Bangladesh. My parents raised me in Bangladesh for a little while before we moved to Western Australia, where I finished the later part of my high school before moving to Melbourne. I love Bangladesh. I still have Bangladeshi roots. A lot of family of mine is still in Bangladesh, and I know they're watching this video, so hi everyone. I love heading back to Bangladesh for holidays. I'm definitely involved in the Bangladeshi community here as well. So yeah, from Bangladesh, and Yeah, that's it. I don't know how to finish that sentence. It's good. When are you shaving? I've actually shaved. That kind of shows how long I've waited to film this video since I posted that question. There's a lot of questions about my beard. Someone asked, yeah, do you use beard oil? Yes, I do. It's a bit of an inside joke. But yeah, I go through phases where I shave / not shave. I have this weird superstition actually. If I have an exam coming up, I don't shave because I have this thing where if I shave, the exam will probably screw up. It stems from my high school because in year 12 I didn't shave and I was pretty happy with how I did in year 12, and I just go with it. So if you see me with a lot of beard, it's probably because it's exam period. Yeah, it's weird. I have a really good question again. So what did I want to be when I was younger? That's a really good question. And it's pretty funny because when I was growing up, I knew that the only thing I didn't want to do was medicine because I was really scared of blood. This one time my brother had to go to the hospital, my younger brother, and the blood came out and I actually just fainted. I passed out. So from then on I was like, okay, I'll do anything other than medicine. I was really interested in engineering or actuarial studies, so a bit more statistics kind of thing because I really love my maths. But weird how I ended up in medical school when I was like, I'll do anything other than medicine. I actually decided I wanted to do medicine while I was in undergrad, so it wasn't like something I grew up, then when I grow up I want to become a doctor. It was more like, okay, I'm starting to like biology quite a bit, I like talking to people. I think medicine, I can also teach people, so medicine really encompasses that. It's worth a shot, let's do med school. See how it goes. I still don't know, maybe in the next couple of years I'll go into clinical practice and I'll really find out if I actually like the day-to-days of medicine. And I think that's okay. I think we all need to be okay with that, to be able to change things and be more dynamic than just choosing one thing and moving up. I think I wanted to be an astronaut at some point because my dad somehow instilled that in me, that how it's so cool to become an astronaut. So I had that phase for a bit. But yeah, never had the doctor phase, and I'm halfway through med school now, so life works in weird ways. The last one I'm gonna do, it's not even a question, it's just congratulating me for hitting 1,000 subs. Again, I just wanted to say how good it feels to be able to say that we have more than 1,000 people who've watched my videos and decided they would subscribe to the channel. I started this very randomly, very abruptly. I bought a camera, bought some gear, I thought I would start making some videos. And it's really humbling to see how many people reach out to me on Instagram and say they like my video and how I have helped their medicine journey or their just study journey in general. So I think I'm really great. It's a new house, it's a new town. I've moved really close to the hospital, and I've actually bought a few more gear to kind of up my studio a little bit. I'm going to try to make a little studio here. So stay tuned for that. If you're excited for new content on the channel, just subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram for more updates. Medical school interview offers are set to come out in September. So I'm planning on making a lot of mini videos on how to ace your medical school interview. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, again, thank you so much for 1,000 subs and hoping to grow more and more as we go.